Hello YouTube, this is my second GameCube portable Worklog, and I'm going to focus a bit more on the controller in this video because that's one of the main things. I think since YouTube has a limited time on each video, I'm just going to go ahead and do separate videos for each different part of it. So this is the controller. Actually, what I'm holding is the case, but up here's the controller. What I did was I cut the case, let's see, I cut the case right about here. So not quite down the middle, but closer to here, on each side. And you can kind of see that. So that way I don't have to, worry about the L and R buttons because the circuit board is going to fit in there just like it normally does. So basically all I've done is taken the middle part of the controller out, and I've taken the empty side, like the handle that was empty anyway. So I haven't really changed anything. I just sort of extended it. So I cut my actual controller in half as well, as you can see, and I'm going to be using this for an example. So this fits in here just like it normally would, and I'm using one hand, so cut me some slack. Okay, so it's not quite in there, but you can kind of see how it's supposed to be. Like I said, it's not quite together because I've got one hand to do this with, but it fits in there like that, and this way I don't have to worry about I don't have to relocate the L and R buttons and the clicks. I can just keep it the way it was supposed to be, and it's less trouble. So that's that. I was worried about cutting the circuit board for the controller in half because I wasn't sure that I wanted to bet a $20 controller on it, so on my ability to keep it working. Because you'd think that if you saw it in half it's going to stop working, but apparently it does not. So this whole half of the controller works just fine still, even though half of it's missing. It's just wired oddly, so you can literally just cut it in half and it doesn't affect anything over here. And it barely affects the things over here. You just have to wire it back to somewhere. So there's a little bit of a guide on Kazar's GCP guide, but he didn't really go into depth, so I'm gonna try and clarify a little bit. For each of these buttons, there's like a little line coming from it. So for the A button, it comes over here and ends up right where this wire is soldered to. And I just took a knife and I scraped the white paint off the top of it so I could see the copper underneath, like I did up here. You can see there's copper there, and same with underneath the A button where that's the B button right there. It goes right over here. So there's a diagram I'm going to try and link in the description where it shows what all of these pins are. So for example, this is like the brain for the controller. So on the right hand side, for example, the second from the bottom pin, that's the A button. So you'd want to wire from that contact where that goes to the A button. You want to wire from there to whichever one the diagram says is the A button, which in this case is the second from the bottom on the right. And then you also want another wire going to the ground, which is right here on my controller or right here on other controllers. And I have tested, so I do know that's the ground. I wasn't sure at first, but I'm sure now. I got the A button working perfectly fine, but I haven't done all of them because I fried my my mod chip. So I don't see the point in connecting the whole controller back up because I won't be able to test it until I get a new mod chip. And as you can see, I've got plenty of wires to worry about already. So I just don't need, 10 more, holding the controller together. So, yeah, so for each of the buttons, you're going to want one going to the positive side and then one going to the ground. And the ground over here, so the positive goes to whatever, you know, whatever point on this it's supposed to be, and the negative, the ground, is supposed to go to the last point, the right point on the bottom, or the left point on the top. This is yellow wire, which my camera's out of focus, but it's the left wire on the top or the right wire from the bottom. And I will obviously be doing it from the bottom since I put epoxy over the top here, which I did in a couple cases and regretted, but there's some soldering points that are just so small that you can't not put epoxy on them. So hopefully I've cleared up some questions about the controller, and my next video will probably be over the battery. Thanks for watching.